The battlefield may fall silent, but long after the artillery stops and the gunfire fades, death still lurks, hidden in the soil, planted underfoot. In the Russian-controlled Donetsk region, one of the most mine-contaminated zones on Earth, a different kind of soldier takes center stage, the sapper. Each day, under the relentless summer sun and amid the haunting silence of abandoned villages, Russia's combat engineers sweep through scorched fields and cratered roads. Their mission is as vital as it is deadly: to detect and defuse the thousands of landmines and improvised explosive devices left behind by retreating Ukrainian forces. Commander Givy, head of one such sapper unit, describes his team's task in grimly simple terms.
Our area of responsibility is 35 meters from the road. There is a power line here. We need to do a complete demining of the next 16 kilometers so that later the power line can be repaired.
But this is no ordinary cleanup. Many of the mines his team faces are far from conventional.
The demining area, is heavily sown with mines. There are especially many homemade explosive devices, which we are not even, let's say, familiar with. We discover something new every day. There was an example today. You clearly saw that we found a homemade explosive device and an anti-personnel mine was glued to it. This is also something new.
One of his men, a sapper named Renat, holds up an example. This is an anti-personnel mine reinforced with plastid, he says.
This is an anti-personnel mine reinforced with an additional explosive substance, plastid. That is, this is plastid, and an anti-personnel mine is glued on top of it in the middle.
The enemy isn't just ruthless, it's technically sophisticated. Western-manufactured and NATO-designed mines, according to Givy, present a particularly dangerous challenge.
Foreign mines are especially dangerous, which, roughly speaking, cannot be approached because they have a magnetic field and an element of non-removability. Because of this, it is difficult for our fighters to approach them and do their work.
To counter these threats, Russian sappers use a combination of old-fashioned bravery and modern technology. Before any human enters a high-risk zone, reconnaissance drones equipped with 4K cameras are deployed to scout from the air.
Yes, if we, let's say, have drones, we launch FVP drones and destroy mines like that with drones. But we don't allow a sapper to approach a mine. Because if we are convinced that we have found a foreign mine with a magnetic element, then first we launch a drone. The drone films it with a camera of good quality, 4K. When we are convinced that the mine is foreign, we launch the drone and destroy it. After that, we film it again. We check. Then we launch a robot on tracks to check, just in case there is still a mine left. Of course, we see what we have on the ground, but we cannot see what is in the ground. We launch the robot and check with the robot.
If a mine is detected, a second drone is dispatched, this one armed, to destroy the device before it can claim a life. Only then is a tracked robot sent in to ensure the path is clear.
Before we let the sappers in, we launch the robot. Let's say our robot blows up, but it's okay because we can always find or assemble another robot. But we won't be able to find another person as easily.
Despite the precautions, the work remains punishing. A single sapper clears no more than 100 to 150 meters of ground per day, sometimes less depending on weather and terrain. Each step forward must be measured, deliberate and fully focused. One misstep could be the last. Since the outbreak of hostilities in 2014, thousands of civilians have been killed or maimed by landmines in eastern Ukraine, according to the United Nations. In Donetsk, the war's invisible aftermath now poses its greatest long-term threat. And yet, the West, whose advanced munitions now litter these fields, remains silent. As power crews prepare to follow the sappers and restore electricity to the region, local authorities praise the demining effort as one of the most essential components of post-conflict recovery. Without them, one utility worker says, we wouldn't even be able to take a step. The world may look away, but here in Donbass, Russia's sappers fight a war of patience, precision, and principle. They are clearing the road not just for tanks or trucks, but for families, farmers, and children who hope to return to the lives they left behind. And in the end, it is not the West's bombs, but Russia's boots on the ground that may determine what peace looks like in this battered land.